You have to persevere. And if you fall down, which we do, you just get back up. What happens if you fall down again? You get back up. How many times? Till you're dead. That's how many times. It's a lifetime. So we're in it for the long game. You've got to have some grit and you've got to have some courage. I mean, shoot, if you're going to just engage in trying to overcome your own sinful passions, you've got to have grit and courage. Like, it takes a lot of faith to keep going back to confession. Well, Father, I know I was just in here a week ago, but I messed up again. You know, people sometimes they just quit. They get despondent. It takes a lot of faith to keep repenting, because we have to trust in the love and the mercy and the goodness of God and keep coming back to Him. But you know, that's what pleases Him. God likes faith. That's it. Faith pleases God, which is what Hebrews says, which is a remarkable thing to even think that it's possible for us to please God. We can actually, it says faith pleases Him. God can be pleased, whatever that means. We know He's impassible. He doesn't have emotions like we do, but He's not a cyborg. So in some sense, God can be pleased. And it's our faith that pleases Him. And the fathers tell us that, you know, you making little mistakes in life are far less concerning than you doing nothing. He would rather you do something and have faith and try something than to just lay down and do nothing. It's a worse sin by far. St. John Chrysostom says, two people like that, you know, the one who has faith is going to outstrip the other one in a race any day of the week. We must speak, and we must not be afraid or lazy. We have to be courageous, and we have to take risks, I think, and step out, be willing to make some mistakes. I say around here all the time, I'd rather tame a wild horse than kick a dead one. And I mean, who am I to say what God thinks, but I kind of think God thinks that too. Like, I think He'd rather have a St. Peter and a Jacob. These are guys who made plenty of mistakes, but they were trying to do something, you know. I think He'd rather work with those two than with somebody who was just burying their talent, somebody who was willing to step out. I think that's a more forgivable sin, to maybe speak obnoxiously, and then you have to repent, than to not speak at all. I know that goes against some conventional wisdom. So it has to be, I mean, please hear what I'm saying, it has to be applied properly. When we suffer and when we're faced with trials, we can be discouraged and despondent, or we can draw on that grit, that holy grit, that courage. And we can say, no, God is calling me to believe in Him. And we can, instead of sort of feeling pitiful like the saints, like the martyrs, like our dear brothers and sisters in Damascus and their families with this terrible, terrible, tragic event that just occurred, and the amazing courage that these people respond to this evil every day with courage and love and trust in God. The fact that they showed up to the church the next day. How many of us here would have done that? You know, we would have been hiding behind razor wire or something. But they go because they're not afraid, because Christ is risen. And they, because of what they've had to live through, this courage has been nurtured in them. Whereas, I guess when you live in a society where everything comes so easy, that probably really hinders the development of this kind of grit and courage and toughness. So, you know, these dear brothers and sisters are losing their lives in foreign countries, and sometimes we just don't take the time to share Christ with somebody or be a listening ear to show the love of God, because we just rather be doing something different. I mean, I'm guilty of that more times than I can count, I'm embarrassed to say. And again, we're back to work. We're tired. I'm tired. I want to go rest. I'm tired all the time. All the time. I figure now how much time I got left. Like my dad always said, you can sleep when you're dead, you know. So I'll rest when I'm dead. St. Raphael of Brooklyn, we did it. We talked about him in the past. I had the great privilege of washing his bones at his translation. And one of the remarkable things about St. Raphael was his work ethic. You know, that inspires me. He just never stopped. never complained. The other day, we were with Metropolitan Saba all day long. We had a wonderful day with him. And he was with about 3 or 4 of us, maybe 4 or 5 of us, I can't remember. Anyway, he was telling us, somebody was sort of talking about how tired they were. And he's like, Father, you know, Christ died for you. And you're tired? You know, he was being fatherly and kind and everything, but he was just reminding us that we've been called to sacrifice our lives. And that includes being tired, and that we have to give. And there's a payback.
The Wise Phone 2, which I currently use as my phone. It's an amazing phone that helps you not doom scroll or be addicted to social media and other vices, because it doesn't have a web browser, but it does function like a phone. You can call, you can text, you can take pictures, you can do videos. It even has apps like Uber and Lyft. You can order food, maps to get around town, all the things that you kind of need in this modern life. While at the same time, being able to have a boundary between you and work, or you and distractions. So you can be more present with your family, with your kids, with your spouse, whomever. This has been a very freeing experience for me to have the Wise Phone 2. Again, you can get $40 off through my discount code KING today.